Nope. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Thought we were going to start the stream off there with a little bit of a blur. Honestly, there it is. It's coming into focus. There we are. 1 second. There we go. Good morning, guys. Philly in the house. Nice. So yeah, there we are. Good morning, everybody. It's been a good start to the morning. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little bit I'd say a little bit not so prepared, but that's okay. I got two stocks. You guys can see there's two stocks I'm specifically pretty aware with today. So we're going to cover ATVI, TEVA, then some questions along the way. Again, today is another earnings play day where there's a lot of earnings coming out. So that's pretty much where all my attention's at anyways. So primarily going to be focusing on earnings plays. There was a ton of them that came out in after hours and pre-market today. And there's just so many that you can't possibly watch them all. So there's probably going to be some earnings play stock today that goes crazy, and it always happens. There always seems to be this one random name stock that you never pay attention to that ends up having a really good day. And even pre-market, it usually doesn't look that good. But let's get into the ones that I am following. So we'll start here with ATVI. Let's put this full screen. So here's ATVI. I'm actually long ATVI, only 20 shares. To explain that, we were in one of our group classes yesterday. After trading, we had one of our classes like midday. And we were going over a few things, and somebody had asked about ATVI and their earnings coming up, and should we buy it before earnings? I'm like, well, trading heavy size before earnings is never a good thing. I'm like, yeah, we can go long on it. We'll take it long. And so as a group, I think we grabbed just a little bit. We did 20 shares just to be in the earnings play. So I was kind of going through and kind of helping people identify sentiment on stocks so that we can kind of create your own thesis on which way you think an earnings play is going to move based on the news and based on how things have been trading. So then we came up with a prediction to go long on ATVI for earnings, and sure enough, she popped up. So it wasn't a really massive move, so sure, we didn't really profit that much from it. And again, it was only 20 shares, so what do you expect to make, $1 million? So yeah, nonetheless, we're long on it. So I'm just going to be holding this one today. So far, it seems bullish pre-market. And it's pressing up on, let me do like a 20-day. Does that work? That works. So this 20-day 1-hour chart will show you. That's it. That's the major resistance right now on ATVI in terms of the past couple days. This $44 level is that. That's the big resistance. So if ATVI can get up into 44 and break through, then it would have a pretty good day. Even so, if it gets up to 44, I mean, that's a good move, but you really want to see it break 44. So just know that this is a big resistance level at 44. And then look at all the selling pressure that came in the day before earnings, right? So look at this big sell-off right before the day of earnings. So we know that a lot of people were selling it just the other day. Now, if a lot of people are selling it, we can assume, it's safe to assume that there's probably a lot of people shorting the stock on this day as well, and their stop loss would probably be somewhere around that $44 mark, especially if they were getting in short at 44, or probably somewhere around 44 or just above. So if we can get ATVI up and through 44, I think it's going to have a really good day. So I myself probably won't day trade it, I think. And the reason being is I'm already in long 20 shares swing trading it. So I'm more of on the swing side, hoping it breaks over 44 and kind of picks up on an uptrend here in the next couple days to weeks, and I can kind of just hold 20 shares. If I go in with more size today and day trade it, then I'm going to mess my average up from yesterday, and I'm going to start in with a new average. It's going to be around 43 or wherever it would be that I entered today, which would totally screw up my average from where I entered. So if I want to stay long in this, I should probably just kind of let it do its thing. Bill Hills, thank you very much. If there's a stock you want me to take a look at, just send it in the chat, and I will get to it here at one point of the other. Okay? So ATVI over 44 is ideally what I want to see. So if you're going to be day trading, which I'm assuming a lot of you probably are, if you do day trade it, look in the closer time frame on ATVI. It's still kind of struggling here pre-market, and it kind of has a little bit of a trend to it, not a lot, but it has a little trend like so, and then from the after hours high going down. So that's kind of it. If this can channel like this and break over the trend line, it's probably going to be a pretty good long. If not, I would watch for maybe a bounce off of 42.51, and then it might turn into a long. Like it comes down, hits 42.51, and then kind of bounces. So nonetheless, I am still keeping eyes on ATVI long bias for right now until it says otherwise. Mr. Brooks, MGNX, Bill, let's see. So let me write this down, guys. 1 second. MGNX, short on open. Let's see, 1 second. Okay. Just reading some questions here. Okay, good stuff. All right. Mr. Brooks, I got yours written down, so I will definitely get to MGNX there for you for sure. All right. I do want to cover TEVA real fast, TEVA. All right, so TEVA is a major gap down, negative, shall we say. It has a really big push to the downside. So right now, sentiment on TEVA is definitely bearish. 1 second, let me get in the 1 minute chart. Now, I don't usually trade TEVA all that often. It's usually the earnings day that I trade TEVA. Now, TEVA isn't a stock that runs a lot, okay? Look at this big drop. This big drop was only from 19. It looks really big, which it is, in regards to the price of the stock. So in regards to the price of TEVA and the drop that it made, it's a big move. But don't expect to trade TEVA and be getting 40-cent candles, 50-cent candles, you know, $1 pushes. It's a stock that's going to move in ranges of like, you know, 10, 20, maybe 30 cents here, pull back, then another 20, 10, 15 cents there. So don't be, you know, if you're going to trade TEVA today, you know, don't go in like 4,000 shares and think you're going to make $4,000 because it's going to push $1, because it won't push $1. It's going to push maybe 20 cents, and then it's going to pull back, and then maybe pop 15 cents, and then a pullback, right? That's typically how you would see TEVA move. So knowing that, go into this with the expectation that you're not going to be getting massive big dollar pushes. It's probably going to be 20, 30 cents, something like that. I want to follow TEVA short personally because there's really no support, right? You see it's dropped. TEVA is not really bouncing on any support here, so it makes me want to be short bias. The only reason I feel TEVA is actually bouncing a little bit pre-market is from this dip back in the beginning of 2018 in March. So in March 2018, we had this dip on TEVA down to like 1650. And then if you come in today and you look at TEVA, it bounced right about 1650, and it's kind of holding here. So that's what I think's holding TEVA up pre-market, is this little dip buy from March of 2017. I can't think of any other reason from a technical side that TEVA's holding up here. So nonetheless, I'm probably going to be short bias on TEVA for a breakdown. If that doesn't happen, then I'm probably going to leave it alone, because if this thing doesn't just turn bearish and drop, then it's going to probably spike up and then have a really awkward trading day, and I'll probably just leave it alone. So for me, I want it to be short because I don't see any support from like a little bit ago. The only support I have is from 3 years ago, or about a year ago, right? Almost 1 full year ago now. And it's like, well, are traders truly respecting that from a whole year ago? And if they're not, then we should see TEVA breakdown. So gonna follow TEVA closely, all right? TEVA very closely here. All right. After that, now that we've covered TEVA, the only thing I would say to do, guys, also, by the way, is pre-market, if you're gonna follow TEVA and you're maybe gonna short it, mark off this level here at 1717, and then obviously your pre-market low point should be marked off. And the reason you're going to pick 1717 or 1720 is it's this little pop pre-market. If for whatever reason TEVA pushes up, it could see some sellers right at 1717 and then come right back down. Okay. Next one here for Mr. Brooks is MGNX. Okay. So one of our trading private members has been shorting TEVA, or not TEVA, sorry, MGNX. Personally, I don't necessarily. I don't think it should be. I don't think you should be entering a new short per se. Yeah, I wouldn't be entering a short here because MGNX is basically retraced 50%, 60% of the move it just made from breakout to pullback. So it would make sense that maybe today is a little bit of a bounce day on the stock. So it's hard for me to say short it right now. If you do, I would go small size, just because most of the short moves started here, and then for the most part, it's been kind of just a consolidation, slow grinder. So I don't expect you're just going to get fast breakdowns at this point. I just don't think so. I don't think you're at a level where you're just going to get fast breakdowns. But I do think there is money to be made short, since it does have such a big kind of gap, right? So if you're going to short, I'd probably go small size, just because it's already moved down quite a bit. And that's just it. Really, this is where the short move was at, and now you should be holding. If you're going to get short here, you know, you're right in the middle. That's the thing, right? Think about this, right? Shorting here, you're right in the middle of the high, and you're right in the middle of the low. So that's like a 50-50. Whereas if you're shorting at the high, you know, you're at the high. But if you're, you know, if you're getting long and you're at the low, and that's the thing, right? Say this shoots up, it's going up, and the price jumps all the way up to here, pulls back, right? Now you're in the 50% of the move, right? So you're kind of at a 50-50, where it could bounce a little bit or it could drop a little more. But now you've made it a harder trade because you're right in the middle versus starting, you know, somewhere at the top. So Mr. Brooks, I would say this is probably best to either leave alone or short with small size. And if you were to short, you're going to want to pay attention to, yeah, basically this would be the level, like 22. 22 would be the great spot to get short right now. Right now it's kind of shying 22, but that would be the ideal spot, is right there at about 22. As long as it's still kind of showing that it's weak and maybe some signs of rejection, okay? POTN, probably won't, because I think that's really low priced, and yeah, so won't trade POTN. It's a low price OTC stock that doesn't truly move on a lot of volume, so this is something I myself won't trade, yeah, personally. Sure, Bill. Yeah, let's take a look at McDonald's for Bill here. All right, so MCD. All right, guys, so MCD, everybody knows, is McDonald's, the healthiest place to grab yourself a quick bite to eat as you're on your way to work. So if you're planning on turning a new leaf for 2018, turning into a healthy working out connoisseur, then McDonald's is your one-stop shop, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty then, so McDonald's here, it double topped at about 190. All right, so in terms of like right now, I mean, McDonald's did just do like a small little double top at 190. Right now, McDonald's, I would like to say, is actually very expensive of a stock. If you look at McDonald's on a 20-year chart, this is McDonald's. Would you say right now McDonald's is a buy or McDonald's is a sell? I would say McDonald's is a sell, not necessarily a buy, because in relation to where it was to where it is now, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Now, here's the thing. McDonald's is an extremely big company, blue chip stock, positive cash flow. So here's the problem, right? Look at 2008. Look what happened to McDonald's in 2008. It didn't even really dump, right? If you think about most of the stocks in the stock market in 2008, they all took a pretty big beating, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them. And if you look at McDonald's, McDonald's really did not take a massive beating. Can anybody explain why that's the case? Why did Netflix not take such a big beating? Actually, don't answer that. I'll answer it for you. That's because McDonald's is an extremely profitable, reputable company. They have a store on every single corner. They've been around for a long time. Everybody at some point in their life has seen a McDonald's. Everybody at some point in their life has probably bought McDonald's. That's up for debate. So this is a very strong company that most people know is not going out of business. So this is one company that people did not get scared into selling during the 2008 crash. So even when I say it looks really overvalued and expensive here, the problem is even during one of the worst, stock market crashes and recessions, McDonald's is hardly affected. So if a 2008 type of crash is hardly going to affect McDonald's stock, then what is? What will bring McDonald's down? That's the thing. It's hard to say. And to me, as a trader and investor, it's hard for me to want to buy McDonald's when I look at this chart and go, holy shit. It started at 12. It's at 190. 2008, it hardly even pulled back. So it's like, when do you buy? So for me right now, I don't like McDonald's where it's at. And personally, I would say it's, you know, it's more of a sell in terms of like technicals from, you know, just looking at, you know, the past here. But I would say it's getting close to a buy right down here at this 170s level. As soon as it gets down close to 170, I'd probably dip buy it for a little bit of a swing trade, personally, on McDonald's. Okay. Yeah, and right here was, this was December. They went from 190 down to 170. So they did drop 20 points, right? So they did get affected there, you know? So I will say this, right? If we were to go through some type of recession or, you know, some type of just kind of market crash, I would say McDonald's will take a beating this time because the fact that it's up so big. Yeah, I could honestly find out if McDonald's is overvalued in like not right now, but all you got to do if you want to find out if if you want to find out if any company's overvalued, take their market price. So if you want to find out if any stock is overvalued, so if you're like, well, should I? So so Bill, in regards to your question here with McDonald's, personally, just double top, it's kind of pulling back. I would honestly look to maybe add more long or dip buy around 170. Now, personally, what was I just saying? Oh, yeah, if you want to find out the true value of a company and whether or not it's overvalued or priced accordingly, and what I mean by that is when you go and you look at a stock, whatever the market price is, so if you go and look and McDonald's says it's 190 on a stock chart, if you go look at the stock chart and McDonald's says it's $190 a share, when you go and you look at their book value, which is a price to book, it's called a PB ratio, price to book. When you look at that number, or let me rephrase it again. When you're looking at the price to book value and you look at the market price of the stock, if the price is 190 on a stock chart, when you go look at the book value of the company, it should be worth $190 a share. How would you figure that out? Well, you're going to take the amount of shares that the company has, right? And then you're going to divide that, and that should you give you, right? You take the amount of shares they have divided by the price, and all that should come out to how much the company's at their work. So you'll have to do a little bit more research. I can't do a full lesson on it right now. I'll just confuse you guys. But if you do want to learn how to accurately detect whether or not a stock is overvalued or undervalued, you look at the market price compared to the company's book value price. That means if I wanted to buy myself McDonald's today, a share of their company, and I look at their book value, and the book value says that the company is worth, let's just say $5 billion or whatever, and I take that $5 billion in the book value, right, and go and look at how many shares there are, and I do the math, if that book value comes out to, let's say, $500 a share and the price of the stock is $190, it's a buy all day long because their book value of their company is worth $500 a share, but the market price is only $190. So that's what you're looking at. You want to look at book value to market price, and that's how you determine value investing in stocks. I can't really go too much more into that right now. It just won't work, but you guys get the point. So personally, I don't know if McDonald's is or isn't overvalued. From just looking at the chart, it seems like it is, but we'll see. All right. I was going to say, McDonald's is most likely not overvalued. You're right, Brendan. Or Brayhan Mills. Excuse me. Chris, we use Zoom. We use a private thing called Zoom. Actually works a little bit better than like YouTube streams. Yeah, Chipotle's kind of crazy too. I'm just kind of reading some questions here. Yeah, I'll take a look at Shopify real fast. Yeah, Shopify is most likely a buy. See what we experienced the other day was manipulation on Shopify. Okay, this is a classic manipulational trick, right? Why does Shopify drop on earnings and then get bought up? What's the point, right? Guys, think about it. If Shopify is already up after earnings, why did it drop? What was the purpose of the stock dropping if it was just going to go straight back up? Does anybody know? Yeah, it's a manipulation trick. Again, if you look at the stock and on the day of earnings, it drops 10 points, and then the next day it's already back up, that's just manipulation for sure. Positive. It's not, no divot. It's just, dude, it was manipulation for sure. Absolutely. See, if you look at the news, it'll say Shopify has a new price target. Shopify price target raised, price target raised. Whenever somebody raises a price target, it usually means, when analysts raise a price target, it usually means the price is going to drop and then it's going to go up. Almost all the time I notice that. But anyways, that's just a classic little tricky there. Yep, easy money for the big boys. Easy money, right? Because let me ask you this, right? Let's say, let me put into perspective here. Let's say I was going to buy Shopify before earnings, right? And I thought it was a long, right? And I bought here on this day, or even here on this day. Let's go back a few days, right? Let's go back a few. So basically put it this way. If I had bought Shopify anywhere from like here, I would have been stopped out, right? So this is just a stop loss killer, right? Anybody who bought Shopify before earnings anticipating a good move, or if they bought here, 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 and they put a stop loss anywhere from here down, they all just got crushed, all their money got taken, and they were the liquidity providers for the big boys to bring it back up. And so that was a perfect stop loss killer right there. That's what I see it as. It's a perfect stop loss killer. Take everybody out. Anyways. So I do got to head back. I'm going to head back to the private group now, guys. So definitely appreciate you guys tuning in today. Again, it's an earnings play day. TEVA and ATVI were the ones that I was specifically following. I have scanners, so if something starts moving that I like, of course, I can hop in on that as well. But for now, it's just going to be a simple TEVA and ATVI on the day. And there's other earnings plays that I'll be keeping an eye on, but specifically those were the two main ones I wanted to watch mostly. Other than that, guys, yeah, that's all I have for you. I will see you guys all tomorrow for another stream, and then probably do a little trade recap today as well like we did yesterday. Other than that, guys, everybody have a good day. Take care. I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning.